Is there a tip that could improve every single aspect of your golf game? It sounds outrageous and very clickbaity, but I had a student last week that came to see me down here at the golf project who was really suffering with their irons, woods and driver, and all we did was made one simple change to his entire golf swing that seemed to work great for the irons. Then when we moved this onto the woods and the driver, we saw incredible results. This is a change that I see so many golfers make out on the golf course down here when I'm watching people hit a few shots at the golf projects and so many other areas that if they can make this change, they will see incredible results just like my student did last week. And this is exactly what we're going to be looking at in today's video because it's a very common fault I see and I really do believe that it's going to help you as well. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Harry, PGA golf professional down here at the golf projects transforming golfers worldwide, and feel free to get involved by dropping a comment down below after this video with a tips or drills topic you would like me to cover in a future video. So in today's video we're going to be answering a question that came up from a comment looking to get a very good golf swing working for every club in the bag, the irons, the woods and the driver, because he's really suffering at the moment, and I can imagine a lot of you out there are suffering with this at the moment. We're coming into the winter months now. We're thinking about way too many swing thoughts at once. Not just way too many swing thoughts at once, we're thinking about different swing thoughts for different clubs in the bag. For the irons, it could be the backswing. For the driver, it could be hitting way more up on the golf ball. With the woods, it could be trying to make sure we're hitting more down the golf ball. Too many swing thoughts for different golf clubs. So we're going to be simplifying things for you today. We're going to be looking at one thing, one simple move that you can make with the irons, the woods and the driver that you can work on. It's going to help you see incredible results, see more accuracy, see more distance, see that improved ball striking and feel the difference. Let's simplify your golf swing. The only thing I did with my student was getting him to understand the relationship between the body and the club, but also more importantly, allowing the club to fall on the downswing, allow the mass of the club to fall down towards the golf ball, and for us to then resist and push against the mass, the club head going towards the golf ball. Now let me explain. So what my student was doing, Alex, he was getting up to the top of his swing, and from this movement here we were noticing this very over the top motion here taking place, and you'll notice from here that as the upper body is rotating, the club is following the body in the same direction. We don't want to do this. We don't want the arms and the body, and this is what a lot of people don't get. We don't want the arms and the body to move in the same direction, the downswing. We want them to move in opposite directions. And this is one of the skills you need to learn as a golfer to get this natural motion taking place in your golf swing. You see so many golfers, especially the tall players, they do this over and over again. They swing so effortlessly. They make it look so easy, especially when you go and watch them in person. You realize how slow it actually looks, but yet they're hitting it over 300 yards every time with the driver. How does that work? And you see this with kids and young adults, but especially kids when it comes to hitting the woods, and especially the driver, the heavier club. What they do is they'll get to the top of the swing, and as they're bringing this mass to the ground, because this mass is too heavy for them, they end up lifting up to protect themselves and stop themselves from getting injured, hurts, because it's too heavy for them to handle. So they'll always get to the top, and you'll always see it. You'll always see it at the driving range especially. And as they're bringing the mass of the club down to the ball, you'll notice that the body wants to lift upwards, like this here. So they're pushing up against the ground and they're resisting that weight. They're making sure that that club's mass is being used to its full potential as we're just lifting up like so. If we came really far into the ball like this here and went with the club towards the ball, trying to make sure we're making contact, for those of you who think keeping your head down is the way forward, you'll notice that you're really trying to force his head down, but that's only going to encourage a much steeper angle of attack into the golf ball because your body's working with the club, going down towards the golf ball. And when we do this, we get very stuck, can't rotate, and we have to get this chicken wing. I know that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point. So how is this going to work? Well, the first thing is you need to allow the club to fall naturally. So an easy way for me to do it here is I like to feel like the club in my lead hand like so. I've just got it to the top, I'm letting go from here and I'm allowing the club to fall to the ground. And you can see that I'm not making a lot of movement whatsoever in my body. And now as I start to get used to this motion, you can see here, I'm just adding in a little bit of a push upwards from the body like so, and you can see how easy it is to create this effortless speed, great angle of attack into the golf ball, and also naturally swinging up and through to the finish position. So for a good visual for you from here, you can see that as I'm swinging back, if we went in the same direction, we'd drag the club this way. If it's in the opposite direction, we'd go this way. And that is exactly how we throw a golf ball. A really good example is if you were to throw any sort of ball whatsoever and take it into your dominant hand, and you're about to throw this ball as far as you possibly can, you wouldn't go like this, would you? You wouldn't keep this straight and just turn your body. You would let everything loose. You'd allow the shoulder joint to be loose. You'd allow the arm to be loose, and you'd allow the ball to be thrown like this here. The hand working in the opposite direction to the body. If you make a throw just like that one there, you'll start to feel this. You'll start to feel the difference between this motion here and this motion here. You'll be able to feel your body resisting this force to create more speed as you release and let go of that ball. And the same thing applies with the golf club. And as you've already noticed, you'll see me really exaggerating this with the golf club, but actually when it comes to us hitting some golf shots, we'll only be staying very, very still. Ever so slightly maybe lifting more upwards. This is because we're producing so much force on that club, and the mass of the club is going so quickly down towards the ground. When I come to doing this, I'm not going to be lifting up and ending up thinning the golf ball like so. It's going to be just resisting it and making that solid contact that we're looking for. So let's now take a look at how they should work with the irons, and then we'll start to move into the woods and the driver. So when using the irons, the key remains the same, but I would highly advise really exaggerating, allowing the club to fall to the ball, allow the club to drop, the mass of the club to fall to that golf ball. And the reason is I see so many people out there, as soon as they drag the club with them here, trying to keep their head down, it causes a load of other issues, especially bringing that leading edge here to striking the golf ball first. Just making things difficult for you to time that contact and get that good center strike. So again, allow the body just to naturally push off against this mass here rather than following the direction of that mass, and you'll start to feel some really nice compressed iron shots doing this. It'll almost feel like, for those of you who are really used to going over the top, almost going underplane too much on the inside. Allow this to take place, because it's very easy from this position here, as we're lifting upwards, to square out the face and get a great compression, better ball striking with your iron shots. That felt quite nice. Just drawing back onto the pin, the question is it enough? Oh, and it just is as well. Nice shot there. Let's move on to the woods. So transitioning into the woods. When using the woods, it should involve you almost arguably doing the exact same things you did with the irons, allowing the mass of the club to drop to the floor, really exaggerating this motion, allowing your body to push off this force all the way through to finish position. But because the 3-wood or a hybrid is heavier than an iron, it's designed to be swung quicker. So we want to really exaggerate this motion even more. We want to really encourage, as I mentioned earlier, as we're pushing off and up against that force even quicker, to encourage the mass of the club to come down towards the ball on the correct angle of attack and improve that ball striking for you, especially when it comes to hitting these clubs off the deck. They're very easy, well, pretty easy to hit off the tee, but when it comes to hitting them off the deck, we really need to be making sure we're doing this motion here. If we swing down this way, it is game over for these clubs. So there is no harm in you adding extra speed with the woods and the hybrids. And I see so many golfers out there, especially when it comes to those tight fairway lies, and they've got to get their 3-wood out. They've got quite far into the green. They've got no choice to hit this one. They get very tense and they get very concerned and try and just conjure up a golf swing, hardly rotating the backswing, hardly swing through on the downswing, really just trying to make contact with that golf ball. And this is no good. If we get too tense, this is not going to work. We've got to let the body flow. We've got to allow the club just to fall as we're swinging up and through and pushing against and resisting this force all the way through to finish. We've got to trust this. So it's going to take a few more shots. I'm going to say a few more shots to get used to. A couple more shots, so what's that, 1 or 2 minutes? So it will take slightly longer to get used to this, especially with the 3-woods, but you'll start to feel a huge difference in terms of how effortless this is. Also, how easy it is to get that center strike without having to tense up like this here, getting very nervous over the golf ball and trying to conjure up a golf swing just to make sure you make that solid contact and get it down the middle. And it always refers back to that key, always commit to the shot. You can't commit to the shot doing this, so allow yourself just to flow, feel the weight of the club dropping, feel the mass dropping, and allow yourself to push against this. I've got 319 yards to the hole, so I'm not expecting to reach this in soon. Just trying to make sure I get it down there and give myself a decent opportunity to get up and down for the birdie. Really nice solid contact, look at that. Oh, it's just drawing now for me, stay there. Oh, and look at that. Just crept into the slight rough there, but I've got a nice short pitch shot on to the green to see if I can get up and down for the birdie. Let's move on to the driver. So moving on with the driver, you could again arguably say that the driver compared to the irons in the woods, there is a slight little bit of a difference, but you've obviously got to still really encourage this motion to take place in the downswing and pushing off against that mass of the club, because especially now we're getting into an even heavier club. But we also need to remember one thing: the driver is the only club that we use on a high tee peg. And for those of you who really suffer with getting too much underneath the ball, have you ever considered this to be a reason, the hands and the body to be working in the same direction as opposed to moving in the opposite directions? If we swing too much this way, we're going to get well underneath the golf ball, too steep on the driver's shots, see those slices, even worse, get those topped golf shots coming into place. So rather than teeing the ball lower, and even for those of you who haven't suffered with this, give this a try. With the driver, I really want to exaggerate this push off the ground, because the more I push off the ground and against this mass going into the golf ball, that's going to really encourage us to hit more up on the golf ball. And this is what the pros do time and time again, especially when they're trying to hit those high bombs, effortless high bombs. Obviously they really commit to the shot, but you've seen it so many times where they'll get there, right, I'm really going to go at this one, and it looks effortless again. And this is why. So let's set up to the golf ball. Feel the weight of the club dropping and swinging through. Really encouraging this upper body to push upwards. And I would definitely recommend you just making a few swings, just flat out really giving this a go, feeling the mass of the club drop and swinging up, pushing against this mass. If I just swing and everything works together in the downswing, nowhere near as fluent, nowhere near as consistent. So I'm teeing off here at the par 5, 5th hole at the Medina Country Club. I'm just going to really send this one. So I'm really going to encourage the mass of the club to fall and really push off, exaggerate this feeling as much as I can. So let's see where this goes. That felt nice. I really felt like I was pushing off against it then. Oh, I think I've set it too far right. Can it come back? Needs to go if that's the case. Not too bad, but that was a really nice high trajectory, and you saw how straight that went, and I did purposely aim that a little bit more to the right because it is a little bit of a dogleg round the corner. So I was really trying to take that dogleg on to see if I could get it on the green into on this par 5. So I've worked my way back. We've looked at the irons, we've looked at the woods, we've also looked at the driver. And in simple terms, just to recap, all we're doing is we see so many golfers, they'll get to the top of the swing and they'll have their arms and body working in the same direction. What we're getting you to do now is to feel and allow that club to drop as we're pushing up against this force. Two hands up, allow the club to fall towards the golf ball, and we're feeling that upward motion. We're pushing off, we're resisting that force. So if you enjoyed this video, give this a thumbs up, and why not share it to a friend. But do me a favor, take a look at this video over here, which will talk to you about a very simple drill that's going to help you transform your golf swing with your irons and your driver. So go ahead, why not check that out, and feel free, make sure you drop those comments down below the tips or drills video topic you would like me to cover in a future video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.